Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the University of WordPress podcast. Glad to see we didn't scare you off with the 11 questions I asked you last time. And let's get right into episode 2. Episode 2 is going to be covering choosing your niche and choosing a domain name. Let's start with choosing a niche. Now, there are two types of niches. There's the very broad general niche, which would be, for example, like fitness, health, religion, those just really broad niches. You know what I'm talking about. And then we can also go very narrow with our niche as well. Now, there is upside and downside to both of these. Let's start with the broad niches. Broad niches are going to have a high search volume, which is going to mean high traffic, but also very high competition. Now, in these niches with high competition, it's really hard to get anywhere in the beginning. You really have to look at different keywords into Google, and you need to check the top 3 or 4 sites, see how they're posting. You got to have some really high quality posts if you're going to try a broad niche strategy. The good thing with broad niches is that once you start getting traffic, it's going to come in bunches. These broad niches, if you can build your website up, you're going to get such high traffic. And that's really one of the best ways to make money, but it's also one of the hardest ways on the internet to make money. Now, the next part about broad niches is that they're really easy to market. So basically, why that is that you're selling some top level products to people that are looking to buy these products. For example, I have a review blog, and on that blog, I recently reviewed the Echo Dot 2, and I try to keep my reviews real and not just say a bunch of good stuff about them, because I feel like if you make it seem authentic and actually talk about what's good and then what's also bad, which it may seem hard and bad to talk about the downsides of a product that you're trying to get someone to buy, but they need to understand that it's not perfect. And by you telling them that, you're going to seem a lot more human than you would, without it. So selling these top level products leads to super high conversion rates. If you can really sell a person on the product, then they're gonna click on Amazon, ClickBank, wherever you are using your affiliate site for, and you're gonna get very high conversion rates. Now, if you're not an affiliate marketer and you just like writing blog posts, you can use AdSense and all those ad companies that you put on your sidebar as well. These will also benefit from higher traffic, as you'll have higher clicks and then higher CPC as well, hopefully, as that gets going and your click-through rate just keeps soaring through the roof, hopefully. Now, that's the pros and cons of the broad niche. Let's talk about something that I personally love, which is a narrow niche. Now, there are two types of a narrow niche. One of them is just what I would like to call a micro niche, and what I would call the products in a micro niche are products that are kind of separate from anything else, but they don't sell a heck of a lot, but there's also still a market there. So that may seem complicated, but basically you're looking at a product, a book, or something that isn't part of some other niche, that's kind of its own separate thing, and you're trying to make sure that you're the leader in that specific product's searches on Google, shares, everything like that, so that you can drive all of the traffic that this product is going to get on the internet. Now that's what a micro niche is, and that's a strategy to use with that. Another type of niche is a sub niche, And a sub-niche is the opposite of a micro-niche. You are taking, a specific fitness product, specific health product, supplement, something like that, and you're trying to sell that. For example, let's go with fitness section. Fitness would be the very broad niche. There's so many different parts to it. Now let's say you wanted to be very specific and you're just going to sell water bottles. Now, for water bottles, there's multiple different uses for them. You could do, the best water bottles for one sport, for another, the cool new water bottles that hydro flasks, stuff like that. The best ones for hiking, best ones for running. There's so many different things you could do with water bottles. And guess what? That's probably not going to be a very competitive area because you're just talking about water bottles. Now, obviously, this is just an example. I'm not sure how the actual landscape of water bottles is. I'm not sure how big of a niche that actually has. But let me share why this can be effective. So, this low competition also means there's a low search volume. But if you really do your keyword research and you get the best keywords you can with good ratios of search volume to a lower amount of competition, then you can really, really drive your traffic through the roof. Believe me, this is an absolute gold mine if you can get in. So let me give you a product first for keyword research, and then I'll give you an example of something that could have made you so much money in the past that everybody wishes they would have thought about. So the product that I will be introducing to you is for your keyword research. It's a very good tool. It has plenty other to offer you, but since we're focusing on this for now, let me just talk about it in the keyword research aspect. It's called SEMrush, and I will post my affiliate link in the podcast notes. It's a keyword index. It's very well renowned. It's one of the first ones that pops up when you search keyword research on Google. It comes with a 30-day free trial. And, if you really want to try hard, you can just search everything that you would ever need to do for your blog in those 30 days, write them out in an Excel sheet, the competition, the search volume, everything that is relevant to that. And then you could just decide that you don't need it afterwards. Me personally, I did that for a little while and then I came back to it because I felt like it offered me more than, another website did that I tried. So that's SEMrush. As I said, I'll put the link in the podcast notes. So we will talk more about not just SEMrush, but keyword research in general later. Not in this podcast, but later on throughout another episode probably. I'll probably devote a full episode to that, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, I'm going to give you the example that I was talking about of a narrow niche that could have made you so much money. Now, let's just think of this. What if you heard about this amazing new product called virtual reality 5 years ago? Now, if you think about the way that that's progressed in the past few years, 5 years ago, you probably would have been so excited to hear about such a cool product that you could just hop on and be an affiliate marketer for before the curve happened. So you have this smaller website, you have this amazing product that you're selling, and there's such low competition on Google, on the web in general, and you have something amazing that people really want to buy. There's really a market for technology like that. And if you devoted just a specific site to this small niche back in the day of virtual reality, you would be very rich by now. So that concludes our niche talk for the day. I'll probably come back to it at another point. So 3 things to remember are search volume, competition, and keywords. Those are going to be your 3 most important things when we are talking about niches. So that's going to conclude the niche talk, like I said. Let's get started on the domain. Alrighty, and we're back. So, now we're going to be talking about the domain half of the episode. And again, another really important thing with the domain is your keyword research. And doing keyword research really is going to help you pick a domain name that just applies so well to your niche that it just knocks it out of the park. So let's start with what makes a good domain name. So you're going to want to make your domain name memorable, and I feel like I have a perfect example of that right in front of you with the University of WordPress theme that I have going. So what this is basically you're going to want to make people remember you, so when they want to come back to your site, they don't just completely forget what it was called. So with the University of WordPress, I feel like I've done that to the point where people that feel like they need to come to a site that will guide them through blogging, I have a good enough name that they will remember it after they read one of my quality posts, and then that they will come back and they will be a returning visitor. Now, another thing that you should do with a domain name is keep it short and keep it easily typable. So keywords was probably the most important thing that you can do for your domain name, but the next most important has to be this, and keeping it short, keeping it easily typable, you avoid your Q, Z, those ugly letters in random places. If you do that, I think you'll notice more traffic than you would keeping it, a really long name with a couple letters at the end that don't really make sense, and something like that. So another way is to market your keywords, and what I mean by that is that you're going to already have your keywords and niche written out, ready to go, and you're really going to want to see what the top of that niche is for keywords, and see if you can't structure a name around that, some clever website name that gets, the visitor's attention. So that's making a good domain name right there. Now let's talk about the domain service that you'll want to go through. With Bluehost, which is the hosting service that I've talked about in last episode, with Bluehost, if you sign up for their hosting service, you get one free domain name completely free, whatever you want it. It can be .com, .org, .net, whatever you'd like it to be. And these .com names are pretty highly sought after, and it's good to have that for free, completely free when you sign up for hosting, which you'll need anyways. And I am an affiliate for Bluehost, so I will put the link in the podcast description, podcast notes rather, and if you'd sign up through there, I would really appreciate it. Bluehost is an excellent place to go for your hosting service, and I would really recommend it, affiliate or not. If you aren't going to go through Bluehost, or you already have a hosting service and you want another domain, or you haven't yet picked up a domain and your hosting service didn't give you that same offer, then I would recommend going through Namecheap.com. I have no affiliation with them at all, so this is completely just a separate recommendation. Namecheap definitely has the cheapest domain names I've seen out there. Usually they don't offer .com from what I've seen, so this is where you kind of want to get creative, because if you're going to get stuck with a second half of your domain that isn't .com, .org, or .net, you're going to want to make it somewhat memorable so people don't type in, what your brand is, .com. So with my current site that I'm going to be hosting this podcast on, which is University of WordPress, as you know, I actually don't have a .com, so I hope people don't type that in because I don't know what would pop up for them there. But I have University of Word, and then I have .press as the second part of my domain. And the reason I did this is because universityofwordpress.com was already taken when I had searched it at the time. I'm not sure if it is now. I hope people don't hop on there and steal my podcasting website from me. But anyways, um, so I have no affiliation with Namecheap. I want to make that very clear. But I think it is a great place to go. They sell some domains for 88 cents, like .press, which is what I'm currently using. So that's just the first year is 88 cents. And so next year I'll have to probably switch services because I think they want to charge me like $60 to renew it, which, if you know anything about domains yet, is a ridiculously high amount to pay for a year. Like that should get me the entire thing for my entire life. It should give me that domain for the rest of existence for a .press name. So that was, our overall talk about niches and domains. I hope you got some good information out of it. It's running a little bit longer than last time, but I think that I brought up some interesting facts, interesting stuff that you can take home with you. I mean, you probably already are at home, but if you're at work, then make sure to take it home with you. Um, your homework this week is to narrow down your list of niches and finally pick one. I bet you probably have had that list for a while, and it's time to pick one and get going. And secondly, you need to make a domain name for that niche and start your website, which I will help you through next episode. Thank you for joining. As always, please share this episode with your friends if you think that it would help them in any way, or your audience as well. Subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. Be sure to leave a comment with any questions, or you can also reach me on my website, UniversityofWord.Press. Thank you for joining again, and until next time, class is dismissed.